Real talk, teacher burnout is a real thing. Just picture yourself at a conference where you have to be on all day, meeting people, shaking hands, introducing yourself, networking, and just imagine that all day long. And then by the end of the day, how do you feel? Exhausted. You're drained because you're constantly on. You have to watch the way you speak. You have to even smile. You have to make sure that you are portraying the right person, the right persona. That's exactly what teaching is like. Teaching is a work of heart. It is a labor of love. So teachers are burning out left, right, and center because there's so many misconceptions about what teaching entails. Hi, I'm Sylvia, and I'm here at Agora Prep talking to my teacher colleagues and the entire population of passionate educators who are involved in education. Whether you're a teacher, an EA, psychotherapist, or one of the paraprofessionals that are involved, an administrator, a principal, I know and I remember and I recall how hard it is to go and work because people just assume that teachers, they get the summers off, they're publicly funded, they have job security, when in reality, it takes every ounce of our love and our patience to be effective teachers. The fact is, we have to show up for these kids every day, Monday to Friday, rain or shine. We have to show up for them as their parents, stand in for their parents when their parents aren't around. We have to stand in for their friends when their friends let them down. We have to stand in for their emotional support when they're going through some kind of anxiety or some kind of pain in their life or some trauma in their life. The fact is, we are everything to every child in our class. Multiply that by 30. So in essence, the job of a teacher is more than just educating. It's more than just giving a lesson, having a lesson plan done, and then giving out a worksheet and then correcting that worksheet. I wish it were that simple, but it's not, because we're not dealing with robots. We're dealing with your children who are absolute creative genius, who likes to push the envelope, who challenge assumptions, who question authority, children who are growing into their own, and they're becoming these amazing people. They're little people with big brains, big emotions to process. So as a teacher, as a proper teacher, we have to take the time to have the discussion. We have to take the time to make the eye contact and to let them know that they are loved and cherished, because they are going to be deciding our future. They are the future leaders. But inspiration doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come at the whim of a moment. True inspiration is being able to have a personal relationship, establish a personal connection with every student. You establish trust. You establish the fact that I am a reliable person in your life, that I will always show up for you, regardless of what you're going through. I am interested in hearing what you have to say, because that is the only way that they are going to develop their voice. So there's a huge shortage of teachers now, and no wonder a lot of teachers are just giving up. They're leaving. Yes, the golden handcuffs of pension and all this is wonderful. Benefits, yes, out the wazoo, great, wonderful. But what does that mean if at the end of the day it compromises your own mental health? If you can't be an effective parent for your own children at home because you are overrun, it's mismanaged, the system, there's too many kids in the classroom, teachers are overwhelmed, they've got marking to do late at night, they have to bring work home all the time. What happened to work-life balance? Why doesn't it apply to teachers? Because they get July and August off? And because everybody gets the summer off? Does that mean that they have to work twice as hard in the other 10 months of the year? And why aren't we doing that for other seasonal workers? So why aren't construction workers or roofers or other people who rely on seasonal work not being treated the same way? In essence, what I'm trying to say is that we need to give a little bit of sympathy. And to my teacher friends, I got you. I knew exactly what you're going through. I went through it myself. I would go home miserable. I'm miserable because, you know what? I could have sat a little longer and dealt with this child, but I couldn't because this other child needed me. Oh, I could, sit here and do all of my marking, but I have to prepare for my own child's birthday. I have to prepare for their life as well. And being present in the moment and being on all the time around the beautiful students that we have, it's hard. It's hard because sometimes you have this, you're incapacitated. You're just like, I wish I could say this, but I can't because, like I said, I'm not the parent. I need to speak to the parent about this, but this is serious trauma. I'll give you an example. I had a student probably about 10 years ago, and I asked him to write a personal story, a personal commentary. We were doing, media, language arts, and we're doing, relationship with media. And I asked each of them to write something, a story from their life, as a bulletin or as a newspaper article. Now it would be blog. Anyways, he wrote about a very traumatizing incident in his life that happened. And when I read it, I was in tears. I had no idea that this child was struggling with this specific trauma. And it just kind of opened my eyes. First of all, I didn't do this assignment until the end of the year. Second of all, it explained a lot of the behaviors that he was exhibiting throughout the year. Third of all, I wish I'd caught it earlier, but I couldn't, because there were just so many other students, and there's this constant pressure to administer this burdensome curriculum, which, another topic, but I think my teacher friends would agree that the curriculum, a lot of it is irrelevant, and it's becoming irrelevant. It's dated, it's antiquated, it's not speaking to the children's interests, it's not at all following their line of reasoning or engaging. So if we're bored teaching it, imagine how they're feeling learning it, okay? But we're being forced. The curriculum is not written by teachers. If it was, it would be a beautiful thing. Wow, it would be amazing. But it's not the case. The fact is, teachers are burning out. Their voices are not being heard. They are sacrificing the 2 months off that they would have and the benefits for another career that's going to give them more family, balanced life. So to my teacher friends, I got you. Agora Prep is all about accommodating educators and their way of learning, because in order to engage our children, we need to engage our educators.